Hi, my name is Emma Yang. I'm the founder of Timeless, a startup and mobile app that empowers Alzheimer's patients to live better daily lives, and I'm also a high school student here in New York City.
Emma, welcome back to the China Current. One of the turning points for this whole global response, not just in the States, not just in New York, is the shortage of personal protective equipment, PPE. But you've been doing something about that. You've been working with your family, also with your school friends. What have you been doing?
I've been getting all these fabrics from online. We've been ordering a bunch of fabric, and we've been cutting those out into making them into masks. So on my side, I've been cutting out based on like this template, cutting out the patterns for the mask. And then I've been giving them to my friends who have been sewing them together and making them into an actual mask that we've been donating to a lot of hospitals around the city, in the Bronx and Staten Island. We're hoping that this can help to contribute to, helping with the shortage of PPE.
Let's talk about Timeless, your app, which has gone through several versions now. What it designs to do, or what it is designed to do, is to provide an ecosystem for a person with Alzheimer's, their caregivers, their doctors, for example, and the other support team, and also the family and friends, so they can feel connected even if they're not able to interact in the same ways as they have done previously. Does that give you a new insight onto COVID-19, given that this is a pandemic where people who are aging are the more acutely vulnerable, or so we're told?
Yeah, I think it's definitely given me insight into whether or not we can expand Timeless beyond just the Alzheimer's space, because this is clearly an issue. Connection is clearly an issue not only just for Alzheimer's patients now, but for the elderly population at large who are, working to stay engaged and connected with their friends and family while they're stuck at home.
And I know that you're very sensitive to this. Not everybody has the ability to purchase a laptop or a smartphone. Not everybody knows how to use one, even if they can afford it. So if that access is taken away, how best do you think that we can interact and take care of our elders if they don't have access to the app, to a phone, to even Wi-Fi at home or data?
Well, I think there have been a lot of good initiatives around the city, especially that are connecting kind of young people, high school students especially, to, for example, with nursing homes, going into nursing homes, talking to them, ensuring that they are kind of staying active and engaged with someone around them, telling stories, reading to them. So I think those kinds of initiatives that may not be high tech or involving something that requires you to buy something is, still instrumental to keeping them kind of, their mental health is good, making sure that they are kind of staying connected with someone else.
Out there, there's been a lot of narrative about people of East Asian descent, people who look like you and me. Maybe they're Chinese, maybe they're not, maybe they're not even from China. But there has been some commentary about the singling out, the labeling, the stigma, in some cases, the verbal and physical attacks, because they're associated with Asia, with looking Chinese, so to speak, and therefore being associated with the origins of the first outbreak, that we don't know where it started, but we know that the first major outbreak was in Wuhan in China. Is that something that's touched you yet?
I mean, I'm lucky that I personally haven't been impacted by that, but it's something that definitely my classmates and I have been talking about, when it kind of first started to emerge, not when we locked down, but even when it was on alert that, oh, be careful of Chinese people, they might have the coronavirus. We're like, why is it suddenly okay to have a stereotype of someone, to be racist against someone? It's completely, I think it reveals things that sometimes we have not stereotypes or, prejudices, but biases. It's very easy for those to come to the surface in a situation like this, where everyone is just trying to stay safe and to do what's best they think is for them. But I think that it can lead to people being singling out, like the East Asian community in New York. I think it is strange that in a city like New York, that you think that's so diverse and so, accepting of diversity, if you go in an elevator and you speak Spanish or you speak Chinese or any other language, it doesn't seem strange.
I mean, you're ethnically Chinese, you're born in Hong Kong, you moved to a great city called New York. Does it make you think differently of yourself, or do you interpret your identity a little bit differently because of this shift that you said you were not aware of before COVID?
I think my own identity has not really been influenced by the fact that these have been happening, because I know that I'm not in the wrong because I'm Chinese. I know that, this should not impact me, but I think it's important that we maintain the fact that we are Asian, and that is not a problem, and that's not necessarily something that should set us apart. We're all part of New York and we're all Americans.
I'm going to finish off by asking you about you and Timeless and the future. 12 months ago, we were standing on a street outside in New York downtown somewhere, and it was freezing. I remember that day. And we went inside and we filmed. Has anything changed because of COVID or in the last 12 months of living in terms of your ambitions for that next step? So what does Emma want to do now, and has it changed because of COVID?
I think right now it's definitely been kind of a bit more apprehensive about the future. I still want to, pursue AI as a career and in academics. Yeah, I'm hoping that things will be able to return to normal. I mean, if they return to normal, I think our normal is going to be different after this.
The China Current continues its special coverage on the coronavirus outbreak. Go to our social media at The China Current and our website for interviews, videos, and podcasts. I'm James Chow. Thank you.